Your data estate doesn't need to be complex, but with data everywhere, it's difficult to harness its power. At Microsoft, we're solving for simple, speed, and conversion. In this video series, we'll demonstrate how. Hi, I'm Tim Smith. I work for Microsoft as a global black belt, and I help our customers on their journeys to transform with AI. This is part 3 of the integration problem. In the last video, I mentioned that in order to get all these pieces parts to work together without any code, without any integration, the deployment option requires you to set it up, and we call it DataVerse hydration. This whole video has been about simplifying the complex because the complex costs us a lot. We're trying to do this at Microsoft. I like to call this zero integration innovation. The use case that we've been working on is about getting data from a web page, sharing it with DataVerse, obviously, to make all this happen. These two systems talk to each other via DataVerse because they share the same data store. It's exactly the same data store, but you still have to deploy it and then point them to the same data store. So that's what we're going to do in this video. So let's get right into the demo. We are going to start by going to admin.Power Platform. The first thing we have to do is go to our environments, and we need to create a new DataVerse environment. So we're just going to click New. We're going to call it Tim's Tidbits. And we're going to say, make this, no, it's not a managed environment. It's not part of a group. It's going to be in the US. Get new features. Oh yeah, let's say yes. We'll make this sandbox. Add a DataVerse store. You definitely want that. Big, make sure you put that. Pay as you go. I'm not too worried about that. So we're going to say next. Then you're going to have to establish a security group. So assign your security group. And enable D365 apps, yes. And I can say there's some things you can automatically deploy. And I'll go ahead and say deploy sales for us because most of our use cases involve marketing, sales, and service. So we'll say save that. And we're off to deploying a new environment. So you'll see this saying preparing right here. We'll have to wait a little while for everything in the background to finish up. And so we'll pause and come back when that has completed. All right, well, fairly quick. It says it's ready. It says it took less than a minute. So the next step is to go to resources, go to D365 apps. And if you have the proper licenses, then these resources are going to show up here. If you don't have the proper licenses, they won't show up. So what we're going to search for is marketing, and you'll see Dynamics 365 marketing app. We want to click on these 3 little dots and say manage. This is going to take us to the provisioning console to install both CID and CIJ into the same DataVerse. So if that Tim's Tidbits is really ready, it'll show up here. If it's not, oh, and there it is. Okay, so now you can see we've got Tim's Tidbits, and I got an install and install. You'll see 2 columns here. One is for journeys, one is for customer insights data. So I'm going to start with installing the insights data and customer insights managed storage. So you can bring your own storage account. This is that place where if you had your own data lake, you could point to it. We're just going to use the own storage for our demos. So I'm going to say install, and this will take some time. So we will pause and come back. Okay, we have CID installed. So now this is no longer grayed out. So we can click install again. We'll click the install button and we'll let that process. The CID install only took a couple of minutes. So I think this marketing customer journeys is going to take a little bit longer, but we'll be back. Okay, we now have the customer insights journey successfully installed. If you mouse over these green check marks, you can see they give you a URL. So we'll go ahead and click these, open them up. Well, that one's opening. Let me open the other one too. This might be a good refresher. Click these, click manage. Okay, to get to that console. So here is customer insights data, and here is customer insights journeys environment. So what we want to do to link the leads and contacts in the DataVerse environment, we're going to say Microsoft DataVerse. We're going to say, we'll just call it CRM marketing, and we're going to get the URL for this. Copy that. And here and put our server address here and select my spaces and go next. Now it's going to come out to the DataVerse and it's going to find every single entity that's in DataVerse, but I only want 2. So we're going to scroll down here to get to contact. There it is. There's contact. Make sure you don't select contract. And then get the lead. There's lead, and we'll say save. So by completing those steps, now when we're going to ingest any leads and contacts that are in DataVerse. It will pull those into the CDP. It will keep their IDs. And then when we bring in new information about those leads and contacts, those two things can be merged through the 3M process of the CDP. There you have it. Let's recap. So the steps that we completed. Number one, make sure you have CI licenses. Now, I didn't show that, so let's jump over there real quick. Yours is going to look a little bit different than this because I'm in the admin.microsoft.com. This is the Microsoft 365 admin. And here you can see I've got my licenses. So there you saw where we could see our licenses. Step 2 is go to the admin.power platform, provision a DataVerse environment, navigate to resources, 365 apps, and you go up to the search and you search for marketing. You'll see one of the marketing apps. It'll say D365 marketing, and you'll click the 3 dots and you click manage. Then that will bring up this provisioning page for CID, CIJ. Click install CID, click install CIJ. You have to do them one at a time. It'll grayed out so it won't let you do it together. Then once you're done with that, you'll go into CID, go to data sources, connect to DataVerse, and bring in leads and contacts. And when all that's done, you will see, you'll know, I'm going to go back here and show you one more thing. And this is an environment that has this. If you go to settings and system, and I scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see DataVerse hydration 1. We call it back stamping, and it says successful. So when this is done and you do your map, match, and merge, you're going to see this success screen. So that concludes our whole 3-part series on no-code zero integration on how to deploy Dynamics CID. Once you get them set up, then we can use the no-code capability to put snippets of code on the website, ingest that data, create a no-code measure, pass that into DataVerse. DataVerse can use it to create the lead scoring model. We can use that lead scoring model in a journey. We can activate with personalized communications, and we can notify our sellers at the right time. Thank you for watching another episode of Tim's Tidbits Tuesdays at 2.
Tim's Tidbits Tuesdays at 2.